working as well. Okay. So, Patty, let's go ahead and start with you and Rudy. Tell us about you. Tell us about your business. Take about probably 45 seconds if you want. And tell us who you are, what your business is, where you're located.
All right. We're located out of Plumas Lake, California. I'm Rudy, and this is my lovely wife, Patty. The owner of the business. We own Rudy's Fantastic Shine. Yes, together. We've been in business for 22 years. We just celebrated 22 years on March 3rd. We do bathtub refinishing and tile refinishing. And the group we're in, that's the category we're in. And we also do carpet cleaning and tile and grout cleaning. We remove hard water stains. And we got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And John's helping us expand so we could go global. No.
Awesome.
Go international, at least,
Fantastic.
right?
Yep. Fantastic. Welcome, Carrie. So you'll need to unmute yourself.
Great afternoon. Carrie Hagen-Smith with TSW Consultants. And everybody says, well, what's the TSW? The secret weapon. And what the secret weapon is profit, whether it's in your business or in your home. I work with debt solutions. Most people talk about good debt, bad debt. I talk about good interest, bad interest, and all interest going out of your pocket is bad interest. We show you how to keep it in there.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome to the call. Alan Reeves.
Good afternoon, everyone. Alan Reeves. I have founded several businesses over the past 24 years. The latest one, which I am taking to market, is ShieldIQ.com and the affiliate program. Our corporate name is Identity Protection and Servicing. It is identity theft protection, credit monitoring, dark web monitoring, down to public queries like we can monitor for local sex offenders in your area and alert you when they are coming in and out. We provide and build these solutions for companies that can utilize them, whether they be security companies, insurance companies, technology companies, or for people that just want to be able to provide this as a service to their clients and create a little mailbox money commission stream. So again, that's my latest venture, Alan Reeves, Shield IQ.
Love it. Alan's also the co-host here. So glad to be here with you, my brother. Christine.
Hello there. So I'm Christine Glazeman. My company is Storehouse Insurance Services. So we serve small businesses. Greater Sacramento area is our main footprint, but I'm licensed for all of California, and I can also help people who are out of state as well. That's a newer thing. And the other part of our business is helping people turning 65 with their Medicare plan options.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome to the call. And for those of you who don't know, I'm John Pyron, the business doctor. I've been building companies now for 31 years, 7 businesses, 3 of them, built them into the millions of dollars, sold them. Building my next one that I'm super excited. Just hired the first employee here, which changes everything. And it's perfect timing for our call today. So welcome to this week's edition of the Business Owners Mastermind Call. This is the 4th Thursday. So that means we're going to talk about the administrative side of the business. This is the one area of the business that most business owners, it's the last thing that gets dealt with. And it usually gets dealt with out of desperation because, you know, you go into business, you hire a bunch of people, or actually you don't hire a bunch of people. You start off by yourself and you're doing everything. And then at some point you're like, man, I need help. Wait, I don't want to hire an employee right now. So I'm going to hire a virtual assistant, or I'm going to hire a subcontractor, or I'm going to contract some stuff out. And then you realize, oh man, it's difficult to manage all these contractors. And at some point you get to that point where you got to hire that employee. And this is the 4th time in business. The other 3, I didn't have to hire employees. This is the 4th time in business where I've had to hire a W-2 employee. And so I was talking to my wife, Allison, the other day. She goes, what's wrong? I'm going, she accepted the offer letter. I'm like, oh man, here we go again. Like the largest company I built, we had 45 employees. It all started with one, right? It always starts with one employee, but the mindset shift and the mindset change that happens when you hire employees is you have to go through the experience to even identify with what I'm talking about, because you can't really read it in a book. You can't really prepare yourself for it. Yet once you do it, you realize that person accepted the offer. They gave their 2-week notice. Their entire livelihood is now in my hands. And so it's that mindset shift that happens where, hey, you know, it used to be, hey, if I hit my goals this month, great. If I didn't hit them, you know, I mean, I can always borrow from Peter to pay Paul. And that's how most small business owners operate their business. But at some point, you've got to make that transition. And so I'll tell you flat out, get the book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. You need that book. You really need to digest that book. You really need to really understand what it means to be the leader in your company. And the number one rule, the number one law is the law of the lid that John Maxwell talks about. And he talks about your business is never going to outgrow your personal self-image. And the moment you bring on an employee, everything changes. In fact, I've heard many times throughout my business life, and my mentor, Grant Cardone, just recently said this on an actual call. He's like, you know, all of you out there that don't have employees, stop calling yourself business owners. Until you hire your first employee, you're not a business owner. You are a self-employed employee of yourself. But the moment you hire that employee, now you become a business, because your job is to duplicate yourself through that individual and hire them very slowly to make sure you got the right person. But the moment you discover they're not the right person, you need to release them back to the marketplace. And so this year so far, here we are at the end of March, I've helped amongst my own client base, I've hired almost 13 employees this year. It's a different market. It is a completely different market than it was years ago. So there is a huge labor shortage in most industries. And the good employees, the great employees, the ones that make you money, they're employed. So it's not like you can go out and post a job ad and go, hey, here's the job description, here's the job duties, you know, fast-growing company looking to hire, you know, a superstar, and here's your duties, and here's your qualifications, and here's your experience. Submit your resume, and we'll get back to you. That's not working no more. Those people are making good wages right now. Wages are way up, but it's almost like you got to put out a marketing ad. You literally got to tell them why they need to leave where they're at and how the grass is greener over here. And it's almost like a sales job to get them on board now. But I tell you this, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make that decision, okay? How to come to that point where, you know what, it really makes, and then I want to talk about, okay, what do you got to do from the math, okay? Once you do the math and you figure out, okay, if I make the decision and I hire this person, how much more profit am I going to make? Because I'll tell you this, if you hire an employee and you have no intention of making profit with that employee, I wouldn't hire him. Okay, wouldn't hire them. And it doesn't mean the employee makes the profit. It means they need to free you up. If you're the person in your company, typically you are, if you're a small business owner, you're the person out on the front lines. You're the person going out and meeting with somebody. Let me check. Alan, can you keep an eye on the chat window, just in case my audio like freaks out, and which it normally does. I don't know if you hear the rooster in the background, but literally it's knowing when to hire. And knowing, okay, if I hire them, what's my break-even point? What's my break-even point with them, number one? Number two, how long is it going to take from the day they start, to the day they become super productive? How long is that window? Do I have enough cash flow to sustain that new hire? So this is the administrative side of the business. This is the side of the business that scares the heck out of most people. Now, I know Rudy's hired employees. I know Alan has hired employees. I know Christine's hired employees. I know Carrie's had employees. I've had employees. Christine is brand new to the business scene. So you're going to get to hear today, by the way, Christina, my niece, okay, that once you get to this point, you're going to get to hear the ugly, well, not the ugly side. Most people call it the ugly side of business. Most people look at it and they go, man, if I'd have known this is what's required, I would have never done it. Right? Like this is, so I want to demystify that. Employees, hiring employees and having great staff should not be something to be feared. It's the only way to scale. You cannot scale a business to the point of having your freedom or even being able to sell the thing if you don't have the administrative side of your business nice and tight. Okay? So let me share my screen real quick. Okay? I'm going to give you guys a thing that is something that I've used to help business owners, myself included, make decisions. Where did it go? Hold on. Hold on. All right. Everybody see my screen? Okay. So there's two books I want you to invest in. One is called The E-Myth Revisited. It's by Michael Gerber. Like it's considered the Bible when it comes to business systems, processes, the administrative side of your business, the technician side of your business. There is another book that came out about 2 or 3 years ago, a guy named Mike Michalowicz, and it's a book called Clockwork. I love those two books together because Gerber gives you the foundation that you really need. It doesn't matter if you're in startup mode or if you have 5 or 6 employees. That is the foundation for how you need to deal with the administrative side of the business to duplicate yourself. Michalowicz, the thing I like about Michalowicz, get the audio version, by the way. Okay, get the book too, but the audio version, he ad-libs a lot. And he takes Gerber's principles along with his own principles, and he shows you how to literally create a business that will run like clockwork, meaning you can disappear for a month, come back, and that business is better than the day you left. And he gives you all the latest stuff, the technology that we have today on how to keep your operational processes, systems, and procedures up to date very easily, how to delegate properly to your staff, how to make your staff superstars. So those two books combined is like you'll knock it out of the park. Okay, so this is something that I've used for many years. I've literally fine-tuned it over the years. I use this with every single one-on-one client I have to help them decide when we need to hire, who we need to hire, and what skill set they need to have. So if you have employees, the magic move here is have each one of your employees do this list. I will give every single person this spreadsheet along with the step-by-step instructions. Okay? So here's how it works. You list on the business task side every single task you do: emails, phone calls, bookkeeping, accounting, filing, whatever it is that you personally do in your business. I want you to put that business task right there. Next, once you have that list, I want you to decide, okay, ballpark it. Now, if you really want to get analytical, like some of my clients are engineers, they get very analytical on this, and they download an app that tracks their time and all that stuff. I've never had the discipline to do that. So get your best guess estimate. How many minutes per week, how many hours per week do you spend on that task?
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. Sorry, could you say that again?
I'm not talking to you, Siri. So however many, I'm like, where'd that come from? How many minutes per week or how many hours per week do you spend doing that task? Number 2. Number 3, in the green columns, just put a check box. So literally go in that box and just put an X, okay? And put an X. I don't like to do this task, and I'm not great at it. Over here, maybe it's this task. I like to do it. I'm great at it. And as the owner of the company, I should do more of it. Probably sales. Once you have this list done, then you put a checkbox over here, even if it's stuff that you're great at and that you like to do. I want you to put a checkbox. Can I delegate this? Can I delegate this to someone on my team? Can I automate this? Number 3, can I outsource it? And a checkbox can be in each one of those boxes. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong here. Just, can I delegate it? Can I automate it? Can I outsource it? Once you have this list done, then literally, let's just do it, email. So last time I measured this, it was, let's just say 11 hours a week. Okay, so I just put 11. And can I delegate it? Yep. Can I automate it? Yep. Alan taught me a really cool tool on how to automate it, and hopefully he'll share that golden nugget today. And can I outsource it? So once you have, let's just say, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's just say that's the list, right? Then what I want you to do is I want you to highlight this thing. And I want you to go up here. Oh, this is Google Sheets. I have no idea how to do this in Google Sheets. But anyways, sort it based off of the number of minutes that you do per week. That's going to give you your priority. Because when I did this last time, when I was spending 11 hours a week on email, I'm going, that's insane. And so I called up my sister and I said, hey, you want a job? Okay. She said, yeah. I said, well, I trust you, so I can give you access to my email with full confidence, and you're not going to, go buy a bunch of stuff using my email as a verification tool. Okay. And so I was traveling to multiple appointments at the time. And I said, here's the deal. Every day when I will let you know in the morning, I've got a couple of different appointments I'm going to drive to. I'm going to call you. I want you to read me my email, and I'm going to tell you how to respond to that email. And over about a period of 2 weeks, she got to learn what I consider spam, what I consider not to be spam, what I considered important. She was able to start dealing with I'm John, I need you to send me this document. She was able to start sending them documents. I started getting emails I didn't even have to deal with, but it made me look like a superstar. And it got my email stuff down to literally less than 4 hours a week. And the 4 hours a week was literally, most of it was talking to her on the phone. I literally got to the point where I only had about 2 hours of email that I actually had to deal with per week. So what did I end up doing with the rest of that time? I expanded my business and was able to sell more. Okay. So, recently, I just hired Ruth Mudd, full-time assistant, starts next Friday, because I did this on my own business, and I realized I have to hire a business development manager. I just literally do not have the time to contact, make all these calls, set all these appointments, follow up with all my clients, coordinate this mastermind, book myself as a speaker. It's like, I can't do this no more. And I don't want to do it. And so I'm going to hire this person. Okay, well, now how much do I pay the person? Well, I did the math and I said, okay, what's a fair wage? And so through the interview process, and I did a Tti assessment on the person. And so for those of you who don't know what a Tti assessment is, it tells me what the behaviors are of an individual, tells me what their driving forces are, what motivates them, what is their competencies. I have 3 separate assessments all on one. And I could look at that person and say, this person would be great at this. Now, I had an inside track with Ruth because she was my assistant 19 years ago in my 4th company, and she made me a lot of money. And so I said, okay, I'm going to pay her $18 an hour. And that's what I decided to pay her. And so I said, okay, well, now here's a lesson for you if you Christina, if you've never had hired an employee, it doesn't cost me $18 an hour. She makes $18 an hour. But what it costs me is about 25% more. It's called a burden rate. So $22.40 an hour is what she cost me, times 2,080 hours. That's a full-time job. $37,440 a year that it actually costs me. That's taxes, workers' comp, insurance, going to have a medical plan. So, all the stuff that's needed. Okay. And so I did the math, comes out to be $37,440. Now, here's the key. The only way I'm going to hire this person is I got to see a clear path to profit. And I like the number 2.5. When I was in the past mastermind group, I was in the room. The largest company in the room was $18 million. The lowest company in the room was me at $1.2 million. The average company in that room was $5.6 million. They all had employees. And one of the things they taught me is like, you know what, if you're going to bring on any employee, you need to take their burden rate, their fully loaded salary, and times it by 2.5. They need to make you 2.5 times that number in terms of profit in order to justify that salary. Okay? Let me repeat that again. 2.5 times whatever that burden rate is what they need to be able to bring to value. Doesn't mean they have to sell that profit, but I need to be able to say, hey, I'm adding this resource. That's going to free me up to go sell. And I need to be able to see 2.5 times that in profit. Otherwise, why would I do it? Why would I not just stay with an outside VA? Well, so I did the math. I'm like, okay, I need to be able to see clearly $117,000 a year in brand new profit in order to justify that $37,440 salary. And so did the math. I'm like, okay, now the next question is, what's my break-even point? Now because this right here, until you do this task right here, hiring an employee is a very scary proposition. I need to know exactly what I have to do to break even with that person quickly, like very quickly. Otherwise, I have to start taking money out of savings, reserves. I have to start taking money out of my own pocket to pay this person, because whether I get paid or not, she gets paid. That's the difference between hiring an employee and a contractor. Contractor, I could just call up and say, hey, man, I'm going to put your stuff on hold, dude. I lost this client last week, and I can't make I can't pay you. I'm going to put you on hold. Can't do that with an employee. I mean, I can. Probably not a good business practice. Okay. And so what I ended up doing is I said, okay, so I'm going to start her on April 1. I'm running a semi-monthly payroll. I'm going to give away so many golden nuggets today. It's ridiculous. Okay. So I'm going to start her April 1. That means from April 1 to April 15th, that's the payroll cycle. The first check has to get cut by the 20th. So between April 1 and the 20th of April, I have to make $1,874. That's the break-even point. That's going to be her first paycheck. On top of my employer taxes, workers' comp, all the other stuff I got to do, I got to make $1,804, and I think it's $1,874 by the 20th of the month. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Especially because this person's coming on as a business development manager. And that's why I tell people, your very first hire should be an administrative person, okay? Especially if they have marketing skills or business development skills, appointment setting skills, because all I'm going to do between now and next Friday when she starts, I'm going to put together a leads list. I'm going to put together some call scripts. I'm going to role play with my wife. I'm going to record some training videos, and I'm going to say, hey, your first day is going to be sitting here filling out paperwork, watching these videos. Then in the afternoon, you and I are going to sit down. We're going to make some calls together, okay? I'm going to show you how it's done, okay? We might set some appointments. The next day, you're going to do some more training. We're going to set some more appointments that afternoon. The next day, you're on your own, okay? I want you to make as many mistakes as you possibly can on that third day. I don't care if you're successful or not. I need you to jump in the pool and figure out how to swim. There's a pool right there. I connected the dots, right? Okay, so I need her to make as many mistakes as she can so I know how to train her. It'll take me with this system, it'll take me 5 days to get her productive. 5 days. I will have appointments set for me. I will be able to run those appointments, and with my personal close ratio, I'll close about 86% of it. Okay? And so I'm not paying this person nothing. None of this money for her is coming out of my pocket. And if you build your business with that mentality and you go at it with that, hire the business development person first, not the technician. Okay? Hire the business development person first. Get them to set appointments for you. You own the business. You already know how to have the meeting. You already know how to have the conversation. You already know how to convert and close the person. So all I'm going to do with her is I'm going to make a lot of money very, very quickly. I'm going to take the money that she helps me generate, and I'm going to go hire a personal assistant in April, and then I'm hiring a funnel builder at the end of April. So she is going to help me drive more appointments. I'm going to go and close those appointments. I'm going to take other people's money, okay, other people's money, and I'm going to hire some more people. And you know what? None of this is going to cost me a single penny. It won't cost me a dime, okay? So if you do the math on this, right? If you do the math on this, it's like Robert Kiyosaki taught me a long time ago. If you go out and buy a home, say you go out and buy a three bedroom, two bath home, and it costs you in in California right now, it'll cost you $550,000, right? So let's just say you buy a $550,000 home at whatever interest rate is. By the time you do the math, you realize your mortgage is $2,200 a month. And you do the math, you go, okay, taxes, real estate taxes, 15% set aside for maintenance. And it's going to literally cost me $2,600 a month to buy that home. But I can rent it for $3,200. Okay, so the profit is $500. So as long as that property cash flows, how many of them can I buy? As many as I want, right? Because it doesn't cost me anything. It's the same principle here. If I bring on an employee with this strategy, and I already know I'm going to make she'll end up helping me generate about $450,000 in revenue in the first year. How much is she going to make? Now, here's the key. When you hire an administrative person or you hire a business development manager, put a commission program in place so when she hits that number, these bonuses kick in. And so she came to me, she says, hey, I've never made a six-figure income. I'd really like to make a six-figure income. I did the math. I laid it out. I said, here it is right here, And so she has a very clear path. And here's the other thing is I got to know what her personal goals are. That is, it doesn't matter if you have a janitor, if you have an engineer. It is so important as a business owner, as a leader, to find out what your employees' personal dreams and goals are. Help them create a plan to get there, tie it to how they can get there with your company being the stepping stone. Now you got a motivated employee. She's going to come to work with a whole new pep in her step. She's going to work her tail off. She might even train herself after hours, because the way I designed her comp plan, 70 grand is going to come from bonuses. 37,440 is going to come from salary. She's going to be motivated to get that number. She's going to be happy. It's going to change her life forever. The skill sets that she's going to learn. I'm going to make a lot of money. Everybody's going to be happy. And that's going to give me what I need to hire more coaches and scale. Right? That's how you scale a business. So on the administrative side, to recap, and I'm going to open it up for Q&A, do that 4-list exercise. If you have employees, give them that template and have them do that 4-list exercise. I'll tell you what's going to happen if you have employees, because I've done this, hundreds of times now. You're going to see a bunch of stuff that your employees are doing you didn't even know they were doing. Okay? You're going to see a bunch of stuff that you didn't even know they were doing, and you're like, no. Or, really, you're doing that? Let me give you more of it. I mean, it's gonna be a really eye-opening situation. Do this exercise twice a year on yourself and your business. It's going to help you streamline the whole process and make sure that you have processes and systems in place. So once you do that, then the other thing I'm gonna drop in a Dropbox folder is all the employees I've been hiring. I had to redesign a recruiting, hiring, and motivation and retention process. tested it out on several companies now. It works like magic. I'll drop that in the Dropbox folder as well. Because once you get the employee on board, it's like, okay, they started. How fast can I break even with them so it doesn't cost me any money at that first payroll? Okay, that's why I like semi-monthly payrolls, not weekly payrolls. You know, and all of you that have businesses and employees, you know, when you do a weekly payroll, man, that's ugly. You know, or if you pay every 2 weeks, that gets ugly 4 times a year because you got 3 payrolls in a month. You know, it's so much easier to spread it out. You know, a lot less stress. Okay, and so and then, you know, once you have that in place, sit down and set goals with your employee, hold them accountable every month, and give them the training. Now, Mike McAllowitz on his book is going to tell you this. He allows a new employee to ask questions for the first week. After that, they're only allowed to ask him questions twice a month. They're like, what? Yeah, I'm hiring you to be efficient. I'm hiring you to be a professional. I hired you to do the research. Google is alive and well. YouTube's alive and well. You need to take initiative, Mr. or Mrs. Employee, and I want you to own this side of the business. Okay? I want you to become better than me in this side of the business, and you need to keep the processes and systems up to date. So there's so much more we can go in this. I mean, if I had to write a book on this thing, the book would be, you know, probably 6 feet high. Okay? A lot of this stuff you just learn as you go along. Now, before I get going, so some of you are going to want the resources that I talked about. A lot of you that are listening to the recording, so send me a text, 916 741-0596, 916-741-0596, and I'll add you to the Dropbox folder, okay? So with that said, anybody that wants to raise their hand, if you have any comments, anything you want to add to what I've talked about, if you have a challenge or problem that you want to mastermind with this group of business owners, you know, raise your hand. Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
So just to expand upon a point you made a moment ago about the 21 laws. Years ago, when I was probably 4 or 5 years into having employees and right in the throes of every mistake you could ever make as a business owner, you just throw it against the wall. I've done it. I discovered something that was just shocking to me, and it was an intangible, and it speaks so much truth to what you were saying about what a person's personality and their self-image brings to the table. In 2004, I hired an engineer, and this guy was smart. He was brilliant, but he didn't think much of himself. And when I hired him, he was working at a Jiffy Lube, and he had a self-taught technical background. He was brilliant when it came to computers and networks. But again, he was just sort of that wallflower, you know, like you take him to a club or you take him to a party and he's just not the guy who's going to interact. And his billing was never the best. And I had no real processes. I had no real stringent requirements. I just expected my guys to get their billing in on time. In 2007, I hired a guy who was nowhere near the technician or engineer that this other one was. But he was 6'9", young, very, very naturally happy human being, very strong self-image, just came from a different background, thought of himself differently. This guy in his first week hit his billing goal. And I look up 2 months later, and this guy, who again is just not anywhere close to the talent of my wallflower, is billing 50 to 60% more than my wallflower. And the reason was he valued his own time. He wanted to kick butt because that's to him, I'm a winner. So I work here. I'm bringing my wins. I'm bringing what I can bring. And every dang time that I'm doing something for a client, I'm collecting payment on site because that's the way I think it ought to be. That's the way I'd do it if I had this business. And, you know, again, it just taught me something that I wish I could have gone that 10 years and learned that. But that is why what John's wife's company does can be so valuable to a business. Running these assessments, running the personality profiles, you're never, you're not going to find a unicorn. You're not going to match it perfectly right. You're never going to find everything to match it just so. But man, those personality intangibles, what people want to bring, what people think to themselves, what they see when they look in the mirror is a huge reflection of the value that they're going to bring naturally. Now, you can drive a lot of that with processes and expectations, like what McAllowitz does, basically saying, look, I'm not here. And that's great. Like the McAllowitz rule. I don't know how to respond to that. And there goes Siri to me. The McAllowitz rule is that you can talk to me all you want the first week, but after that, what was it, John? You can ask me 2 questions a week or a month. What was it?
Yeah, I mean, he's like, hey, if you come to me with a problem and you're saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? You get to do that for the first week. So you had very nice training and stuff. After that, you get to ask me 2 questions a month. You can talk to me as much as you want, but you get to ask me 2 questions a month.
So maybe
I expect you to solve your own problem.
Maybe that sounds, maybe to the untrained ear, to somebody new or with a startup, that sounds abrupt or it sounds rude. But think about it. If you don't lay those boundaries, then all of a sudden you will find yourself in a position 6 months down the road where you feel like you're working for the employee. If they're escalating everything to you because they don't want to make a decision, they don't know how to make a decision, they don't want to be that resourceful person, they don't want to see this job to conclusion, they just want to collect that paycheck, they want to be part of the busy work. But the accountability factor has to be there. And again, sometimes if you get people that value themselves, they will largely translate that value naturally to your business. You can refine it, no question at all. You can refine it with processes and procedures and admin, but that is why, going out of the gate, personality assessments are so, I wouldn't think of hiring without doing that and having a conversation with that candidate about the results and what they think, what they want, how they perceive themselves. So anyway, thank you, John.
Yeah. I mean, it's the personality assessments that they have today. There's so much science behind them. I like TTIs because they've been around the longest, and they have millions and millions of people that take those assessments a year. And so they have the most science behind it and the most accurate ones. And so with 3 assessments, I get a 93% accuracy of a person, which really helps me as a business owner go, okay, where's this person going to be a superstar? Where's this person going to really rock and roll? Like I was looking for a personal assistant. And so I had Ruth respond, I had Christine, I had Alana, I had a bunch of other people. And when I ran the assessments on them, I'm like, you can't be my personal assistant. Christine could be my personal assistant. Her name happens to be Christine, just like yours, Christine. So, she would be a perfect personal assistant. And the funnel, Elena turns out to be, oh my gosh, she has the potential to be a master funnel. Now, here's the deal. I didn't look at skill set on any of these people. None. I looked at attitude, desire, where do they want to go? What are their dreams and goals? I can't cure laziness. I can't get, I can motivate, but motivation's like taking a bath, man. If you take a bath, you smell nice and clean, and if you don't do it for a day, it, and after 2 or 3 days, your close friends know it, and after a week, the whole world knows it. It's like it's an ongoing process, right? It's the same thing here. And so what I admired when I started mentoring with Cardone and really studying how he runs his team is he does a daily huddle for about 15 minutes, little rah-rah session. They read testimonials from clients, share a little bit of information. He does maybe 5 minutes of teaching and training. But the thing I admired is the training he's providing his employees is about how to be a better human being, how to manage their money, how to budget, how to grow personally, how to literally, whether they quit or not, they're going to be a better person when they leave than they were when they first came there. And the psychology behind it is if I can train and teach my people how to be owners in my business with their area, I don't have to worry about it, you know, and they're going to be excited to do it. The reason most employees quit is not the money. It's because they're not fulfilled, they're not satisfied, they're not challenged, they're not being stretched to their potential. They don't know where they fit. And then money, usually, I think Carrie could correct me if I'm wrong, because she's done a lot of this work. Money's about the 6th or 7th reason somebody leaves.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even a high on the totem pole. And so what I did yesterday, and I'll get you here in a second, Patty and Rudy, is I went up to Yuba City. I have a new client of mine. They have 14 employees. And we already did all the assessments on the employees. Okay, so we have them all done. So I went up there and did a 1-hour training to explain what the heck they took, you know? And so, because I wasn't involved in hiring them, but I went in and I had to explain it in such a way. It's like, hey, Andrew Carnegie was the first employee to make $1 million a year. Okay, first employee worked for Andrew Carnegie, and in interviews, he was noted as saying, I get paid 5% for my technical skills and 95% for my people skills. And I told all the employees, if you can master the art of personality and assessment and identifying somebody's personality and assessment and adapting, that skill set is going to make you super valuable, not only to your current employer here, but to the market. You're going to make so much more money and be a whole lot more fulfilled, not just at your job, but your relationships, your relationships with your children, your family, your friends, you know? And so it's about educating, making that employee better every single day, every single week, and not allowing them to be mediocre and helping them be better. That's how you make more money, man. Go ahead, Rudy. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, so this is, you know, it's making me realize how wrong we did stuff. And, you know, you said about telling your techs, like I'm taking like that I should tell my techs, learn stuff, go on YouTube, go to different, you know, like truck mount forums as a carpet cleaning Facebook group, go on there and encourage them. And I really, because I was like, I just want you guys to do it like I do it. And that don't happen sometimes, most of the time. You know, because I did it for a long time. And then that clicked in my head, like, because I was always like constant, like you're not doing it, like being on top of them and kind of trying to hold them. I mean, the standard is there, and I was always, you're not doing it like I want it, but their outcome has been great. The customers love them. The product they put out is amazing. But yeah, just to hear that, like all the stuff I'm learning from you is like light bulbs turning on, and it's like shows me how wrong, you know, like that. And I thought, because we've been in business for 22 years, that we were doing, I knew there was something wrong, but I thought we were doing a lot better than we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want everybody to hear what Rudy just said. It's like, you know what? First of all, you've been in business for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Okay. Most business owners, 85% of all small business owners don't make it past 5 years. Okay. And of the 15%, this is a well-known statistic. You go up to Small Business Administration and run it. Actually, it's 95% of all small businesses don't make it past the first 5 years. Of the 5% remaining, 95% of them don't make it to 10 years because they either run out of money or they get burnt out because they won't deal with the administrative side of their business. You guys have been able to last for 22 years, and you need to be extremely proud of that. And all the mistakes that what you call mistakes, how you did it wrong, that you've made along the way, you could not have learned it otherwise. You know? Right. And what makes me a great business coach isn't because I was so great at building those businesses. You know, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. It wasn't until I started consulting business owners that my acumen go like that, right? And so what I learned from this process and what I've watched Grant Cardone do and just watching him is he trains his employees how to run their own damn company. You know, like he's not afraid of them going across the street and open up a competitive business. And he just tells them, hey, this is how you manage your money. This is how you save your money. This is how you invest. This is how you do this. This is how you sell. This is how you do everything. I want you to be great. And you know what? They don't leave because they're not going to get that anywhere else. But as a result, each employee owns that part of the business, and they are superstars. So in your business, carpet cleaning business, man, it's like, hey, my expectation with you, and let's take Andrew, for example. My expectation with you is I want to work with you, and I want you to become better than me at what you do. I'm going to pour all of what I have into you to make you great. I am 100% open to any and all new ideas that's going to make the company better and make the customer service experience better. And that's the hardest part for most small business owners, is letting that ego down and being open to listening. Okay. And so every single month, what I tell small business owners, until you get to the point where you have a management team, when you have 5-6 employees, sit down with them I used to call it, Carrie, a monthly review, right? Until I went up to Redding, and my client, she's just a master HR person. They had 18 employees, and she goes, I need to just change that word. I'm going to change it to, it's a monthly coaching session. I'm like, that is brilliant. And so she does sit down with each employee. Now she has supervisors now that do it as well, so they can divide and conquer, but she sits down with each employee once a month. I gave her this system. I said, put it in place. This is the once a month, and here's the rules. This is the once a month that you get to call me a jerk if I'm a jerk. You get to tell me all the bad stuff about my company you don't like. You can complain all you want. Your job is not going to be in jeopardy. If I don't know the problems, I can't help fix them. Okay? But also, I'm going to ask you, okay, what are your goals for this next month? How can I help you get there? Do you have all the tools that you need? The company said they're going to provide this for you. How are we doing? Okay? Now let's talk about what you did. What did you do over the last 30 days? What were your successes? What were your failures? What were your lessons? How can I help you succeed next month? And next month, we sit down and it's a high five on all the stuff they knocked out of the park, and it's a training session on the stuff that they didn't hit. But if you do that consistently with most people, man, they'll never leave you. They'll never leave you. And they won't go start a competing business because they're like, I don't even know how Rudy does that, you know? But here you are, you got, you know, I can already predict your future. Here you are, you know, 2 years from now, you got 5 crews running, you know, and all you are, your natural personality is you're the chief encouragement officer at that point. And you're just like, hey, you're doing great. Go, 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 go. And you know what? Everybody wins, man. Everybody wins. There's only 30 million small business owners in the country. There's 350 million people. Not everybody's going to go start their own business, okay? But the ones that do have a business, it's like, hey, you can scale, you know? And so proud of you, man. I mean, 22 years is a long time. Alan's coming up on 24 this year. Next year, we're going to fly out to Tennessee and help him celebrate his 25th, you know? Awesome. And so it's just awesome. Carrie, what feedback do you got? Because Carrie, I've known Carrie for a while. Carrie has done a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here and has been extremely successful in this space.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, just really simple things are part of it. And that is making sure every time anybody comes to you and says, well, how do you do that? There's a great coaching question that works every time. Well, if you did know, what would it look like? And you just stop and they have to go internal and they say, oh, well, I guess I could do that. Go ahead and try it. But it's making them come up with an answer, right, wrong, or indifferent, so that they at least are now used to going, wait a minute, if I go to him, he's just going to ask me, well, if I did know, what would I do? So now I'm just going to do that, right, to myself. So that's always one coaching tip that I love all the time. One of the things about, I'm going to say the lower on the ring totem pole employee, the less connected sometimes they feel, or like they're taken into account here and it's really just a job. one of the best things we can do is, okay, you're not going to be here forever. What can you learn here that will really benefit you in the future? What is it that you'll want to take away from here? Rather than just showing up for a paycheck, show up for experience. What experience do you want? What can I help you achieve? And that makes them feel like staying, because now they're going to really work at it, right? So those are just two things that we've helped employers work with.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Christine, you have employees, right?
I do not. A couple of years ago,
okay, well, this is good for you.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I did have one person, but unfortunately, we had to part ways just because I didn't have enough work for her. And I'm embarrassed to say that, but my business is very cyclical from, I'd say, September, or really, I guess, the end of September up until around Christmas. It's absolutely crazy. It's off the hook. It's kind of like how CPAs are, right now. But after that, like January until about, I'd say June, it's very quiet, like how it is right now. And so that's always been, it's been difficult to even think how I would hire an employee, I have hired outside contractors before to do telemarketing. It didn't work out at all. So I haven't been, business development, I haven't been real motivated to look at that yet. And I'm just going to be totally honest. I'm embarrassed to say that I've been doing this for 14 years and I still don't really know how to generate business. People just call me. The only thing I know how to do, I do my job really well. I take care of people. I care about them. I never try and guess anything. And so I'm still asking questions of my general agency partners and carriers because I don't ever want to guess something. I'm always double checking something and making sure. I don't think you ever want to guess when you're dealing with people's money and insurance and people's employees' medical plans. So I don't ever guess on that, even with all of my years of experience and my knowledge. This industry can be a moving target. Laws change, and so. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I've had great growth every year. My business has grown 15%, which is really good. Yeah, thank you. And I made a leading producers roundtable last year. That was super exciting. It's kind of like $1 million roundtable, but in like they have that in life insurance, but inside of health insurance. So that's super exciting. But I don't consider myself a big fish in our industry at all. I just quietly serve people in this area. Yeah. So.
Now, your business is what specifically? What type of insurance again?
The main part is employee benefits, so small business employee benefits.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Okay.
I've networked with Christine a long time.
Health insurance. Go ahead, Carrie.
I'm sorry. I've networked with Christine a long time, and I know her strong suit is service. I mean, that is the relationships and service is really her strong. She knows her stuff. Don't get me wrong, but to feel like you are well served is a big deal.
Yeah. And so health benefits is what you provide, and you're licensed here in the state of California. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Are you licensed anywhere else, or is it here?
No, but I have the ability to write policies in other states. That's kind of a new thing. I've been working on a case in Idaho, and boy, has that been different. I realized how spoiled we are actually in California. General agents really cater to us as agents out here. And like, you want quotes? Oh, here's 20 different carriers side by side. And you go out to Idaho and they say, yeah, we'll get back with you with quotes next week. Much slower turnaround. And it's very different. Yeah.
So for 14 years, and just ballpark for me, how many active clients do you currently serve right now?
It's over 100. And some of those who are in that list of 100, they could have anywhere from 2 employees all the way up to my largest group is like 70. So.
Yeah. So are you open to some coaching?
Possibly.
Okay. So here in this applies to not just your business, anybody's business that's on this call, and definitely everybody that's on the recording. Anytime you're dealing with a business owner and you have a business owner client, the one thing to understand that I connected the dots when my business partner Don in the year 2000, I had a client named Jones and Stokes Associates. I was making a boatload of money off this client. It was insane how much money that we were printing. I think I was making like 25 grand a month off this client. I was selling IT services. He was the IT director. He had an IT team. We were doing these massive projects at a reoccurring revenue about 25 grand a month. You know, I mean, it was beautiful. And so what happened was Don, my business partner, who is the majority owner, decides he wants to hire the guy as our IT director. Stupid move. Okay. Do you think the CFO and the CEO of that company was happy? No. It would lose the client? Absolutely. But what it taught me a lesson is this. I need to serve my client better. And the one thing Carrie said to me, which is why I asked you if you wanted some coaching, is if you take your natural talent that you have of service, how you like to serve your customer, right? And take some time, because now you got time. You're in the non-busy season, right? Now's the time to be farming. You know, I'd go and meet with every single one of those clients and say, hey, talk to me about your business. How's it going? You know, I'm part of this mastermind group. I'm developing a really good network. Because here's the thing: when business owners have employees, they have problems. They constantly have problems. Okay. Number one. Number two, I did this math in January when I was at the Grow Retreat, and I'm like, you know what? What woke me up was my friend Luba showed me her the submittals that she was submitting to her tax person. That chick made $285,000 last year doing nothing but brokering services into business owners that she's developed client relationships with. I'm like, what? I mean, she had like 17 different sources of revenue, not from the business owner, but coming from these services on the back end. I'm like, holy cow. So I sat down with a spreadsheet. I'll send this to you. Okay. I came up with 36 different products and services that a typical business owner will buy on a regular, ongoing basis. And one of the key reasons I've hired Ruth is I'm like, I'm going to develop relationships with so many different services that my clients buy. And because I have the relationship with them, you have a tight relationship with these business owners. 100 clients, they like you, right? They've stayed with you. Now let's take your natural talent of serving and go, hey, how else can I help you? What's your biggest problem? What's your biggest challenge that you have? Maybe they have an HR problem. Maybe they have an IT problem. Maybe they have, a documentation, a hiring problem. Whatever problem they have, it's your time to shine. You get to go out, and even if you don't have somebody in your network, always say yes. Say, you know what? If I can find somebody to solve that problem, would you like me to refer them to you? Whether you get paid or not is irrelevant. I stopped chasing the money a long time ago, and actually it was it was March 19th, 2014 to be exact. I got sick and I could not close the deal to save my life, and it was like God said, okay, I sent you 75 people to help, but because they don't want to pay you the money, you're not going to help them? Really? Why don't you go out and find 20 people to help, and I'll take care of the money? The very first person that I tried to help was a pastor. I'm like, it's $300 a month. I can't do that. Well, what can you do? 50. I go, what's the problem? He goes, well, I'm a pastor at a church. I'm like, okay, I think I had a conversation with God this morning. He told me to go out and help people. He would take care of the money. The first person you send me is a pastor. Okay. Funny, right? And so literally within 14 days, my income was over $9,000 a month. Here's the point of the story. You have these relationships. They know, like, and trust you. You have a natural heart of serving. And so what I want you to do, I'm going to send you a list, okay, of all the services. Myself, Alan, Carrie, we have a massive network of resources. So if you don't have these services in your network, we can make some introductions for you. But now you can go into your client and go, hey, what else can I help you with? Whether you get paid or not is irrelevant. Once I switch that attitude, the money just shows up from all kinds of locations. Whether I get paid directly for referring somebody or not, I don't know. But I get referred a lot, and there's a lot of back-end money there that you can make that will fill that gap between the December timeframe and the June timeframe. Okay? Because literally, you'll have probably, if you take what I'm talking about with the help of Carrie, now you know Alan, myself, you implement this strategy, what you'll find 2 years from now is probably 50 to 55% of your income is not going to come from your insurance services. It's going to come from all these back-end relationships that you've referred into clients because you've helped them. They're going to be happy. They're just going to be super happy. They're going to refer you like you wouldn't believe because it's like, hey, you need to work with my benefits person, Christine, because she not only rocks it with benefits, but dude, if I have any problem, I just call her. Somehow she magically solves the problem. So that's why you need to switch from your benefits person to her, because she's a lot more than just a benefits person. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm excited for you because Carrie knows you. She knows. Carrie knows this strategy. You have that natural talent of caring, and you should maximize the heck out of that. So, yeah, Christina, you've been quiet. Okay, you're my niece, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay, so you're just getting started in business, and you have any questions? I mean, there with the combined experience on this call, there's probably 100 years of business experience, and you're brand new in business. So you have 5 mentors here. What is the one thing that you would like to ask that the 5 of us could give you input on?
The one thing that I probably need a lot of help with would probably be budgeting. That's what I would need help with. Prioritizing. And I think that's pretty much the gist of what I need.
I need water.
Okay. I need water.
She's painting. I got a little painting, the kids' workshops from work, and so she's painting it.
Can I give you a quick tip on having children with you when you work?
Yes.
One of the best things is, especially if you do sales like this on the phone or on Zoom a lot, right? Is to have a basket of things that only they get to play with while you're on the phone or online. So mommy's doing business, you can use the business basket. Nope, mommy's not doing business anymore because now they want to be quiet and be able to, but you have to be quiet if you use this, right? Or this is all about, well, I'm on here. You know what that means? And it works like a charm.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else got some feedback for Christina? Nope. Okay.
Well, I think I would ask
Budgeting,
questions. I would definitely ask questions, John. What is it that you need to prioritize?
Yeah.
I do need to prioritize trying to promote instead of, because I do a lot of buying things. So I do cups, I do tumblers, custom tumblers.
Yay.
And I actually finished this one. It's a welding cup. But what I don't prioritize is I do buy supplies, but I overbuy supplies. So I guess I need to learn like more discipline on buying.
And the thing is I don't think it's discipline when we have it written out, as John has been explaining to you, having it all written out. What do I want to do? What market do I want to be in? How many cups do you think I can sell in that market? So how much would I make if I did that? Then how much should I spend in supplies? It's kind of the same way with employees, right? How much will I make? You're hiring little employees for yourself in terms of, supplies and so forth. And how are they going to actually be your army to work for you? It's not different.
And I'm gonna throw one more thing in there with promotion. Christina, how many contacts would you say you have in your phone?
That I actually talk to?
No. I mean, just a guesstimate.
Probably about 80.
About 80. Okay. So do you think it's reasonable to say that if those 80 people got a text from you, they probably would read it?
They would probably read it. I'm not sure if they would respond to it.
So you can, and this is for everybody on the call, you can go to shortysms.com, and for $19 a month, you can basically do unlimited text marketing. So you could open up that Etsy store, right? And have 1 or 2 or 3 tumblers on there. Or you don't even have to have that. Just have a simple one-page landing page. You could talk to possibly Dan Knapp, who's been on this call before, or somebody that could just set you up again with a one-page site. And go to shortysms.com, set up your account. I have full disclosure, I have no tie to this company, okay? None at all. But you can send unlimited texts at basically their lowest price point using one outbound number. You can upload your contact list in there, and then maybe once or twice a month, send out a promotion. Hey, it's April is here, springtime is here. Check out my springtime tumblers, or just different things. July 4th rolls around, or Grandparents' Day, these kind of things. Like, that's an extraordinarily inexpensive way to get broad outreach.
Okay.
I just wanted to suggest, I just Googled women in welding, and Women Who Weld is an organization. I'm just telling you, you made a welding cup, go find the Women Who Weld first, because they'll want to support a woman-owned business, because they've been struggling as a woman-owned business in a quote unquote traditional men's world. They will love it.
Okay.
So the one suggestion that I have, and this is a reminder for me, it's a lesson for everybody. Anytime I've ever wanted to succeed at anything, I have sought out somebody who has been successful, and I studied them, hired them, watched them, monitored them for free, just did exactly what they're doing, and next thing you know, I'm success. So the one thing that you have that nobody else has that's on this call or listening to the recording is I am your uncle. Okay? So you can call me 20 times a day. I have access to everything I have. Okay. And the group of people here, I've known for years, and I've helped. And so the one thing I would tell you is show up here every week beyond fail. Follow Carrie's advice. Get a mommy's in a meeting bucket. It's a great idea. I'm going to steal that idea, and I'm sharing it with everybody going forward. But you have access to everything that I have, and literally we can blow your Tumblr business up, which is then going to create new problems, which then you're going to need Alan's help, and then you're going to need Carrie's help, and Patty and Rudy are going to buy tumblers from you at some point, and then they're going to, we're going to create an affiliate program so they can make money off of telling people about your tumblers. And Christine's going to buy them as a gift, an annual gift for renewing with her. And so you find successful people. It's like my mentor when I first started business when I was 20 years old. He says, you're going to be where 5 years from now is going to be determined by a couple of things. Number one, the audios that you listen to and the videos that you watch. Okay. Number two, the books you read. And number three, the people that you associate with. And if you start changing that and you just focus on those three, I mean, being here, you're associating with people that have a combined total of 100 years of business experience. Okay. Doesn't cost you a dime other than time. And you know, we're all been very successful in business, and the one thing you're going to find with people in business that have been successful is they're going to be free with their information, and they're going to help you. Okay. And because we want to see you succeed. You know, you can do that, and you can build your business, and you can build it and scale it. And so very proud of you. I'm glad everybody was here. It's been a great call. It's been a great call. So one of the things I will ask of you is share this call. It's live on YouTube. It's going to be up on YouTube. Share it on your social networks. Promote this call every week. Let's drive the attendance up. I'm going to throw some heavy marketing once Ruth starts on board. So the more you show up, right? Like the mastermind call I'm on I'm on an inner circle call with Cardone every Thursday, 2 p.m. There's 875 people in that mastermind. Okay. The people that get called on the most are the ones that show up the most. You know? So as this group grows, the more you show up and the more you add value, the more you participate, the more you're going to blow up your business. Okay. So have a great week, everybody. It's been a great call. And, you know, proud of all of you guys. You guys go out and make it happen. It's going to be fun. Next week, we're going to be doing it's a fifth Thursday. So Alan and I, and any of you that want to participate, if you're on a recording, you're a speaker, right? And you're a specialist in marketing, sales, service and product delivery, or administration, I'm going to put together about a 2-hour webinar, okay, where we're going to go deep into all these stuff. And if you want to be a speaker on this webinar, send me a text or send me a direct message. And I definitely want to carve out some time for you to shine on that webinar. But we always do a crash course on all 4 of these subjects in that one call. It's definitely a webinar platform. It's going to be a lot of fun. So look forward to seeing you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week.
You too, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
Yeah, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
See you later,
All right,
John.
you too. We'll see you guys. All right, man. We'll see you.